Today we have 27th of Yama Meijin Cup Kurashiki-Toka tournament, 3 game start to match, game 3. And this game is special because the score so far was 1-1, which means anybody can get the title. Either it is Ito Sae Ladies 3-Dan or Satomi Kana Kurashiki-Toka. The place was the same place as the last game, Okayama Ken Kurashiki City Kurashiki Gebunkan, which is a Kurashiki Art and Cultural Hall. And the game took place on November 24th, 10 o'clock, one day after the game 2. Okay, so let's see the photos. So this is Satomi and Ito starting the game like this. Here is another set of photos, and here you see the mayor of Kurashiki, called Ito. She is making the furigama, which result was 4 tokens, which means Ito was sente. And this is the room they were playing at. And in the lunch, okay, this is one more set of the photos, and in the lunch it looked like this after the lunch break. Alright, so now that we know, we can go toward the game. Time for the game was 2 hours, chess clock, and 1 minute Pyomi, so it was pretty fast-paced game. So it will be important because one comment will be very surprising. You're gonna see about it. Let's see how the game went. So Ito actually can play both Furibisha and Ibisha, and Satomi as well. And we talked it in the last title match that we would usually expect those two to play double Furibisha. Unlike the first game, here we have opposing rook versus third file rook. Here Gote exchanges this pawn early, which Senta accepts, and she moves this silver here. So just quick remark, if you move like something else, there could be like this attack here, so you wanna move the silver over here. Minogakoi should be also fine. And here is like a little bit unusual move, because it seems like it's blocking your bishop, but this way Gote can move the silver up quickly and put a pressure on Sente to not make right side Yagura. It's a strategy that Satomi is good at. And here the both sides develop. And here is the point where Gote moved the rook back. Next she targets to drop the pawn here, and Sente chose to drop the pawn. Usually you would like to, you know, keep the pawn in hand as long as possible, but this pressure is too big. And she defends calmly. At some point Gote will block this line of the rook, for example like this, and this is timing for Sente to attack. I mean to exchange the pawn, which she does, and then she regroup her rook on the 6th row. After which this castle, Mino castle, is finished, and here Ito also goes for the Kinmoso castle, step by step. And here was a comment by Professional, Sugai style, yeah. There was a comment actually that Sugai Professional was the first one to play the 4-4 silver shape, probably. You know well, Abigail, you know well. Okay, so the comment said that Gote castle is almost finished. Next, pushing this pawn will restrict Sente's movement. And why is it important is because in the I-Furibisha opening it is important to have a prepared attacking shape, else it will be one-sided. Only one side will be attacking and it's not good. You need to have the counter attack. So in this exact position, if Sente would have 3 pawns, she could go here, drop the pawn here, drop the pawn here, and drop the 3rd pawn here, getting the lance. But it's not gonna be so easy because Gote is not gonna allow it. So, because that's the only attacking spot, what Sente should do, and what she did, was to restrict Gote's castle development and open route for her silver to attack, therefore securing her attacking shape. So then there was still many calm moves developing the shape. Sente finished the Kinmuso castle, and Gote decides to take the vanguard pawn in the center. So as you see, Sente has a trouble to activate her bishop, so she tried to move it back to put some pressure on this line. And now that this line is open, Gote needs to move the king up, and the knight comes into play. So here you see all the forces being concentrated on the edge attack for now. And Gote, this is a little bit famous shape that Satomi-san likes, is the silver on 4-5 square. It's very, very aggressive attacking shape, and the attack will concentrate generally on those squares, 3-6 and 5-6. So let's see what Sente does about it. Well, she moved the silver up to have the counter, and the professional comment was again, if Sente this time Sente needs 2 pawns. For example, one example to get a pawn would be like this, and then going for the edge, because at any moment Sente would be able to get the second pawn on this edge. So this would allow her edge attack. But of course Gote won't move the bishop, she moved the knight. There were 3 propositions here for Sente. Well, to go here, and one was to go for the attack, but as you can notice, this rook is very strong, so this pawn would allow Gote to defend the edge, and therefore what was proposed was pawn here. Next, if she would have more pawns, she would be able to sacrifice it and drop another pawn underneath it. And the other way to attack was to simply push this pawn and develop the castle. But the problem was that this pawn is a correct answer to that. So Sente chose something different again. She attacked pawn 6-5. And there was a comment saying that what Gote would wish for is this kind of exchange. And again, she would be left with 2 pawns in hand, allowing her the edge attack. But as you can already guess, this is not gonna go so smoothly. So what professional commented later on was that maybe Sente is not comfortable because there's this silver here on 2-6, making a silver wall, what we call. The king is not able to run to the edge. So this is why those kind of moves here are proposed to correct this type of shape. But Sente doesn't care, she goes for the attack. So obviously Gote don't want to take it. She also activates her bishop to protect 6-4 square. And here Sente plays a little bit surprising move, in my opinion. She tries to dislocate this silver. But the minus is, as you can see, this line is open, and in the future she might regret it. And there are 2 options here, you know, taking and going back. But one professional already admitted that both options are a little bit bad for Sente. If silver would take it, at some point you see this bishop would be able to counter here, so Satomi-san decided to move the silver back. By the way, I really find it interesting, like in this opening, all of the generals are being connected, and what's important is Gote has the Vargant pawn on the 5-5 square, the knight is developed, and the bishop will be working well. While Sente, all the concentration for Sente's pieces is on the edge, and the question is this bishop here. There is no use for it yet, and there is a little bit weakness here. So for Sente, if she would have a chance to make Yagura to correct the shape, that would be one objective. So it is a battle between little bit of attack and little bit of defense, right? And the comment on this point said that Sente is a little bit in a hurry on the 6th line, and that is if she goes for Yagura, for example, now, Gote can take this pawn, and you know, it seems Sente was attacking, but it's pushed to defense. So it seems Sente is a little bit in a hurry. So she takes the 6-4 pawn, gold retakes it. It's fine because it's connected by the bishop, this line doesn't work. This is being protected. And here finally, because she has those 2 pawns, she goes for the edge. And going for the Tesuji 9-3 pawn. The lance naturally takes it, I guess to run away from this pressure on this square. Sente moved the rook back, which was predicted actually by Sugai-sensei, as you mentioned before. He was present, he was commenting the game. He commented that he expects Sente to move the rook back. He was a little bit surprised at the speed that Ito-san played it. Alright, and here is a very important position. Gote needs a good way to counterattack. So there were 4 lines proposed, and the most natural one would be to develop this pawn and attack the weakness that Sente made by dropping the pawn here. But unfortunately that would take time, and Sente would be much faster on the edge. Therefore another line was proposed by moving simply silver back to kinda like activate all the pieces. Then another line was pawn 6-6, proposing 2 long lines. If the knight goes up, silver goes here, or simply escaping first. And after that moving the silver. So this way Gote would counterattack on the 6th line, right? And the 4th line was to go even more directly. Here gold takes, 7-5 takes. Gold goes up because there's this pawn. Bishop goes back, and then the knight. And one lady professional commented that she would have no confidence for Gote in this variation. I also would like to know what happens after the silver drop now that I thought of it. Alright, I don't know. It's yeah, demonic says that, but yeah, it would be also some kind of exchange over there. So here what Satomi-san chose was pawn drop, but let me put a comment before that. Satomi-san actually spent 50 minutes in this position. Remember that this game has 2 hours thinking time, so it's like she spent almost half of her time in this position. And she was asked in the post-game discussion, like, what happened, what was the problem, and she bluntly said that she didn't notice that she spent this much time in this position, and she just couldn't find a satisfactory answer for the rook to 8-9, and therefore she was thinking of different options. So I find it a little bit interesting that she wouldn't notice, like she spent half of the time in this position. 50 minutes, guys. 50 minutes. And what she played was pawn 6-6. So she went for more like slow type of pressure in this position. And there's another many variations here that were commented. 6 of them. Don't worry, it's gonna be quick. So if you go very clearly for the attack, 6-5 pawn, the gold can naturally develop here. So it doesn't work. Option number 2, go for the attack. Lance takes, silver develops, according to the plan in the beginning. And here there is this kind of move, which reinforces the castle as well as, boom, attacks this silver. So this would be good for Gote as well. Option number 3, going with the knight. Again, the previous variations like this, defending the edge, and the bishop goes to, if you go to 7-7, it's the same as before. So a new line was proposed, bishop 8-6, well, one option. Option number 4, pawn drops 6-2, something like this. If king takes, then knight jump is like a little bit faster. If you ignore, then pawn promotion will force the king into a little bit dangerous place. Option number 5 was to simply ignore it and finally delete this silver wall, allowing king escape in the future. Or option number 6, do a similar thing but with pawn push. Alright, so what Ito-san did was actually go for the knight jump simply. And it went according to our previous line. Lance takes, bishop drop, pawn drop, and bishop 8-6. And here Gote put some kind of pressure. You wanna take this knight, but simply pushing the pawn wasn't good because the knight can promote and, you know, it can be counter-attacked. The gold cannot move because of this. So this would allow Gote to Sente to attack, therefore she used the lance instead. And here professionals actually predicted this move. It was the lance drop, protecting the 7-5 square. But Gote doesn't hold back, she attacks. And there's a little bit straightforward answer here. Silver takes, then you take this knight, then the gold is being taken. So Sente has 2 generals, but Gote has a bishop and knight, which is kind of equal exchange. And here, to make it a little bit bigger exchange, Sente sacrificed the silver with check, silver retook it, and then rook took the lance. So the fight is getting crazy, and we have no idea who is better anymore. Here Gote dropped this nice bishop, finally revealing the weakness of Sente. So that's like one of the reasons why you don't want to keep your castle open, because at some unexpected time in the middle game there will be this kind of way of checking the king. So if you are a beginner player, please be careful about opening your king lines like this. So the only way Sente can defend it is to drop the piece like a lance, else this knight drop would be way too strong. So she needs to sacrifice this lance as a defensive piece. And there was actually a post-game discussion here saying that she played this pawn drop, blocking the lance, and she said it was hard to find a critical point to attack in Sente's position, so instead she kinda made this little bit of passing move to see what Ito is going to do. And Ito-san actually agreed that it was hard even for her to find a plan. All that she saw was that next Gote can take this pawn for free. So this position was difficult for both of the players. And here Ito-san played this, although it was commented by Sugai sensei in the post-game discussion. This pawn would be maybe a little bit better, and he also proposed silver back, like without attacking type of move. And Ito-san agreed that this pawn was probably better. But she dropped here, which was taken by the silver. Rook took this pawn. I was interested because one of the comments in this position mentioned this kind of knight drop, making this painful knight fork in the future, fork thread. But what Satomi-san played was simply take the rook. She probably saw it's enough, and what was predicted in this position was to promote this pawn, and like attack like here. But to everybody's surprise, Satomi simply dropped the rook here. Probably out of desperation, Ito-san tried to defend her only attacking piece while attacking the opponent's rook, but it allowed Gote to promote, and it was commented that Satomi is going for the win. She doesn't care about the pieces like the rook, she doesn't mind the pieces like the bishop, all she sees is the opponent's king. The bishop promotes, the gold is taken, which is actually Tsumero, so it must be defended. The rook escapes. Sende has to block it. And here is a little bit interesting exchange. Rook goes back, horse goes back. Next, Sente threatens very powerful king-rook fork, but Satomi-san prevents it using the rook like this. If you would take it, the bishop would be working in the attack, so Sente escaped, and here Gote completely ignores this bishop and goes for the attack once again. The gold is being dropped, but the knight drop is the perfect answer. And the final defense, dropping the silver. If you would take this piece, it's all over, so she did try to take the dragon. But as you can see, finally this rook becomes an attacking piece over here. Although, you have to be very careful, because Sente has a knight in hand. So if she will have one more piece, this kind of knight drop will be tsume. Right? So it's the final battle here, whenever Gote can create an attack without giving this kind of piece. So Sente will try to use skillful moves to prolong Gote's attack, to force her to give away a piece, but Satomi counted it well. She drops the gold, and actually Sente cannot take it. If she would take it, it's checkmate. She runs, silver is being taken. There is the final check on the opponent's king, trying to make a counter. King takes the gold, but as we said before, if Tokin is here, it's a checkmate. And in this position, Ito-san resigned. Whew, that was one big battle. So yeah, unfortunately, Ito lost this game, lost her chance to get her first title. And Satomi-san once again proved her ultimate domination in the ladies' professional world. So the lanes from now on were, if king takes it, silver drop, king's runs, gold drop at the hand, king takes, rook promotion, king runs, checkmate. Or the variation where you don't take the Tokin, king runs, and here you can just drop all the pieces, all of them, and you will have a checkmate position like that. Time for the photos. Satomi received the trophy for winning Kurashiki from the Kurashiki mayor. And the game room, the post-game discussion. Yeah, it mentioned that it was the seventh chance that Ito had to take the title, and she was, well, very unhappy about that. The Kansosen didn't take place, apparently, because they both went to the main hall to talk in front of everybody. And then they both received money prize, because Challenger also received money prize, even if she loses. And this is the special certificate. So, right after the game, which is pretty unusual, right after the game there was the ceremony of giving prizes. Yeah, and Satomi kinda wins again. Yeah, exactly. And there is a commentary of both players. So Satomi-san, if I understood right, she took the title 10 times already, and now she's like 5 times in a row, and total 10 times. She had the impression when she first took the title that it was one of the strongest titles, and she didn't realize that she spent this much time, you know, on the 6-6 pound drop. And when the pound push 5-6 was played, this is where she realized she was winning the game. So, pretty late. And they also asked her about the titles she played against Nishiyama. When she lost, how was her health? So she says she takes care of herself. And Ito-san said, because this game was quite unusual in the fact that the Furigoma was played before the game, she didn't have time to like think about the strategy, because she didn't know which center she's got it. So she concentrated on taking rest before the game. She felt that the game was a difficult position from the beginning to the end, and she admitted that pawn 4-6 was a difficult shape. It was a weakness in her castle, and every move was difficult. She was having strong feelings towards the title match, like she wanted to win, but she will also do her best after that. Okay guys, that's all for the game today. It was only 40 minutes, so if you want me to see one of your games or play a game, please tell me in the chat.